I've tested dozens of product research tools over the years, but Spysale has quickly become my secret weapon for spotting winning products before everyone else does. Imagine being able to see a competitor's Shopify sales roll in minute by minute, ultimately knowing which item is taking off in the first place. That's the kind of real-time intel that we're actually talking about here. In this video, I'll break down how Spysale actually works, how to set it up with your own Shopify store, and ultimately, we'll be covering some of its core essential features. We'll be covering the dashboard interface, the key metrics you should focus on, and a simple workflow to filter the noise and zero in on profitable products ultra quickly. So without further ado, let's get into this video. One of the very first things you want to do to get started with Spysale is hit that link down in the description. That should take you to a page that looks something like this one. You'll enter in your first full name, your email address, then you'll create a short password, then you'll go ahead and confirm that password and go ahead and select an option about how you heard about Spysale. In this case, you would say YouTube. Then you'll decide whether you want to subscribe to their newsletter and just hit the checkbox next to the I agree to the terms of service and privacy policy. And once you hit that sign up button, the last step here is going to be confirming your email address. Now, once you've done all that, you should see this page right here. Now, one of the big benefits about Spysale is that you can get started with them completely for free. Now, as you can see up in the top right corner here, actually we're under an 8-day free trial, which basically means obviously that we don't have to pay anything to start using some of the services inside of this program. Now, the first thing we're going to take notice of here is the dashboard. Inside of the dashboard, you're going to take notice of a few important metrics that you're definitely going to want to pay attention to. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice that's going to be super beneficial to you is the tracking feature, which is basically going to be accessed by doing this. Now, once we've typed out the full URL, we simply hit the start tracking button. Once you enter in the store that you want to track and hit the start tracking button, you'll then be prompted with something that looks like this, which is going to be a little pop-up window that basically says that you successfully added your store to your stores list. We'll then go ahead and close out this little text box here. Then we'll go ahead and head to our dashboard. And as you can see, because we refreshed it, we can now see what this website is doing and take a closer look at what kind of metrics they're actually putting out in the first place. Now, two of probably the most important metrics that we're getting from this storefront are these things right here, which is actually the number of yesterday's sales as well as yesterday's revenue, which was around $2,573.20. And yesterday's sales were about 26 total sales that were made. Now, of course, these aren't the only metrics that we can look at. We can go much deeper into this and get a much better idea at how successful a store is, or maybe how unsuccessful a store is, given these metrics that we can pull through Spysale. So first thing we can do here is head over to the My Spysale tab and say, cool, I got it. As you can see here, this is going to pull up some of the store names that we can take a look at some of the metrics inside of this program. At the very top here, we have the Gymshark demo, which is basically going to give us a complete overview of almost everything that you can imagine you would want to know about a given clothing or really any kind of Shopify store out there that you want more details on. As you can see right here, we can take a closer look at this and see just a ton of really interesting, relevant data points that can be super useful making decisions for our own storefront. As you can see, the first thing it'll give us here is the Analytics tab, which is basically going to give us their total revenues, total sales, average order value, and even the total amount of products that they're selling. If you guys take a look at this right top part here, we can also take a little bit of a zoom out here and see things like the overall day value, week value, and month value. There's also the ability to actually go to the store's website itself and see even more details inside of the store website. And there's even more interesting info down here, like the Shopify theme that they're using. If we scroll down here though, this is going to be the thing that most of you guys are probably the most interested in. One of the more useful features of this tool is being able to see top performing products. As you can see down here, we can take a look at some of the best performing products on the website. There's also the ability to see how much revenue they're making and the total number of sales they've made from that given product. One of the top performers right here, and with over $2.3 million in revenue, is going to be this Gymshark Element base layer long sleeve t-shirt, specifically in the color white. Then if we want to know more about that product, we can click into that product and start playing around and seeing some of the more details about how this product is performing and what its it's doing currently. And they even have kind of a sizing product variance part 2 where we can kind of take a look at the full price and kind of how we can compare those with things like extra smalls, extra large sizes, and even medium sizes. And there's also the ability to see the total sales that this product has made, giving us a much better understanding of current trending products and potentially finding some winners to use or for our own business. And of course, once again, you can break this down by day, week, or even month. Now, one of the other things that might be really helpful here is actually viewing the products that we're looking at in the first place. These are probably where you're going to be spending most of your time, just trying to figure out what products are working for other people and how you can ultimately implement that into your own storefront. Now, there are a couple of other really helpful tools on here too. If I head over to something like, let's say, top performers, for instance, where we can see some of the top products in just any category out there, let alone just the specific websites that we're tracking. One of the examples of this are something called Monkey Feet, which I'm not even necessarily sure what that is. Another really big product that seems to really starting to get a lot of traction are these hydrogen water bottles, which are seemingly kind of starting to trend in overall popularity and selling more of. And if you go further down the list, there's, more things that are similar to that you can see kind of are basically top performing products across a variety of different niches and industries. One of the other things you can do is also check out the AI product search, which basically uses artificial intelligence to search for products that are currently doing really well, specifically in a Shopify store. And using AI, it can determine whether or not that product might continue to be popular or might lose popularity and start to not perform as well as other products out there on the market. One of the other things too that we can check out too is some of their settings aren't too complicated here. They also do have an affiliate program that you can earn money from just for promoting. But I'm sure many of you are probably wondering what kind of pricing is available for this. How much do I have to pay to track multiple storefronts at the same time, or potentially to get access to some of the more advanced tools on this platform? What we'll do to show you guys that is hit the upgrade button at the top right here. And as you can see, they have a ultra simple pricing plan laid out that almost pretty much anybody can understand out there. They basically have a kind of price as you go feature where basically you can take this little toggle slider here and move it left or right, and it'll show you kind of how much you can expect to pay given how many stores you're planning on tracking. Most of you probably don't need 250 different Shopify stores that you're tracking at any given time. 10 stores is probably more than enough for most of you. Plus, on top of that, you also get more credits for AI product research, top global stores, top global products, live sales tracking, so things update as they come in instead of like delayed, which can help you make faster decisions. And of course, there's also themes and application information. Let's say there's a Shopify website that you think has a specific plugin or application that they're using, but you're not really sure what that is. This can help you figure out what that is and potentially implement it into your own Shopify store. And of course, there's also 24-hour, 7-day-a-week customer support if you have any issues with anything. There's really only one pricing plan. It starts at $25 a month. If you want to save a little bit more money, you go with something like the annual plan and you'll save basically $5 down to $20 a month, but it is billed annually. I would highly recommend something like this, guys. I think this tool is incredibly powerful, especially for everything that you're getting inside of it. Some of the tools, the features, and the things that you can use with this program just seem to be kind of like a no-brainer. If you're a serious Shopify brand owner, if you're somebody who legitimately wants to understand other people's storefronts, what kind of products are working, and potentially how to implement that into your own product line, I would highly recommend something like this. Once again, if you guys are interested in getting started with this program, I'd highly recommend using that link down in the description. Once you click it, again, you can get started completely for free. You don't even have to put in a credit card to actually get started with this software, which is just a huge benefit, big plus in my book. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you guys in any of our future videos. Make sure to hit that like button and of course hit that subscribe button. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.